All right. Well, welcome to another edition of RSG One Mike. This is our year in review and also kind of our college football playoff special, kind of our year. This is where we kind of take some time to reflect on the year. 2020 has had a lot of uh, creative, interesting moments in the sports world that we can talk about. And so each of us will talk about our top five, but we probably could have done a top 20 list. We probably could have doubled up as you look at the number of things that have happened in the world of sports or sports related in 2022. And then talk about the bowl games, because the bowl games in some ways speak to what's happened in 2022, but it also speaks to what we might be looking forward to in 2023, and also with the national championship game being one of the early, it's always one of the early sports moments of the new year. And on all these lists, it's always on the list as a moment. And so we'll have a chance to talk about the college football playoffs. But before I get into that, I want to bring my co-host on board. Please make sure you try to connect with us at Real Sports Guys. You can get us on Instagram, YouTube, all places to check us in on. But let me bring my guys in. Let me bring my man Hammering in there. Live from the South
Yes,
down there,
sir.
getting all the energy down there.
Yes, sir.
In the
Come
weather.
back tomorrow, though. Come back
Yeah,
tomorrow, though.
yeah.
Yeah, tomorrow
How,
morning.
how you doing, brother?
I'm doing well, man. I'm around family. I think you know, sadly, our matriarch of our family passed away a couple of weeks ago, but it was a celebration of life. It was 85 years young. And, obviously it's sad that she's gone, but I know that she would not want us mourning and be grieving and depressed. She wants to be jumping up and down and celebrate her life. So, and I'm around cousins and just I learned just the importance of family in the last couple of years, especially with my family, my mother and father passing away. So yeah, it's just great to be in ATL. Weather's better. Yeah, it's toasty, 60 degrees and toasty. But a little cold for my cousins, one from Mississippi and one from Atlanta. They got in the weather, they were chilly, but hey, that's how it is. But no, it's great, man. Great to be back in Mad City tomorrow morning. And yeah, and see you all cut up. I've never met Darnell in person. We got to meet, brother. We'll get together Ypsilanti or whatever, get in the spot where Steve and y'all were at, where they were cutting up. Remember that? I still remember that, man. They were cutting up, man.
Yeah,
Big,
yeah.
big Steve cutting
Yeah,
up.
yeah,
Yeah,
we'll bring him on. We're gonna get Steve on here because he already talking junk like he
yeah.
has
I want to see.
anybody
I want to see
on.
Steve in the spot in Ypsilanti. That's what I want to do. I'll meet in the spot. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? You know
yeah,
what I'm talking about, don't you? The
yeah. I
spot, man.
understand. Yeah, we have to do that. We have to get
Steve was talking
young.
that junk, man. I was
Yeah,
like, go ahead.
yeah. I don't. We get when you get all them fellas together. Darnell know it's like sometimes it's like oil and water. Darnell know he been in enough of those gatherings that don't end in the right way. Hey man, how you doing, Darnell? We call him the youngin, but he ain't young so more. He out there with the true youngins, and they trying to double team him in the post. He trying to work with these cats. They trying to come at him, man. How you doing, man?
Oh man, I'm still young, but I'm feeling it now. So I'm feeling the hamstrings, all that kind of stuff. But hey man, it's a blessing to be here. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm doing well.
Well,
How
it's
about
good to be here. We got a little bit to talk about here. We're gonna start out with kind of in general. We got college bowl games happening. I was able to check out Wisconsin. This bowl season over the years has just been weird, especially in recent years. As players have begun to kind of understand their worth and their future. And so you have players when you used to have people just show up for the bowl game no matter what, and then they would transition after the bowl game into getting ready for the NFL. You got those kind of transitions happening now. You got people entering the portal. We just saw we're in our text group today. We got Alabama got a kid who just played championship high school game doing workouts before the ball game, because the way these probably semesters go. Like, it's just weird. And then watching Wisconsin last night, watching Fickle walking the sidelines, and I mean, he's handled that situation well. All the coaches have, but it just gave me another sense of how weird this time is. But there's still some great ball games to be watched,
it?
and just kind of get my head around it. It's not your daddy's bowl game season anymore. It's not like that no more. This season a little bit, but there's still some good meat on the bone. And we got a number of games coming up here. As we move towards New Year's Day, you start to see the big boys show up. You start to see stuff show up. And in some ways, some of these bowl games really start to launch people into 2023. It's like one of the things I learned early on from my time, even at Wisconsin, and learning from some of the coaches and the way that they dealt, they really use this time off. It does a couple of different things. They're able to work on their depth and give people, it's almost like a training camp. They allow people to heal. Obviously, they're out recruiting. But, this month that these teams usually have, teams who use it well. And as Fickle said, really they said the difference with bowl seasons are teams who come in this deciding that they really want to be there, right? And those are the teams that have consistently won bowl games over the years that no matter what, whoever's going to end up playing, they've decided as a group they're coming to win. And they're putting the energy like that rather than showing up and realizing that week, oh, we should really try to win this. Everything they're doing is preparing, and that's kind of being kind of early launch into the spring. So we got some good games, Cats, coming up. And so I want to tap into y'all to kind of get a sense of some of the bowl games that y'all looking forward to watching outside of obviously the semifinal and the final. What are some of the ones that you're interested in seeing and seeing what happens in those spaces? Darnell, I'll start with you.
I'm interested in watching that Tennessee versus Clemson game because
Yeah,
nobody knows what's going to happen. They got Jersey Joe Milton in there at quarterback for for Tennessee. We know him all too well. Seen him
yep.
play a lot. But hey, has he grown? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
What is he still the same quarterback we saw 2-3 years ago? Or has he changed any? And then on the Clemson side, DJU's he's already transitioned. He transferred on to Oregon State. So now the freshman starting Cade Klubnik.
Mm-hmm.
And you also have some guys that transferred out. So and there's a lot of they have a lot of guys that are going to the draft on the defensive side of the ball. So let's see if they can stand up with the new guys that might be in their plan. So I think that's going to be an interesting game to watch.
Yeah, especially both those teams, you get a sense of what their depth chart is looking like, even though some of that stuff might get plugged by portal or some of it might get plugged by some of the new additions they'll have, but you get a chance to see, what that depth chart looks like. And yeah, that's a game that I'm really interested. It's gonna be an Orange Bowl. It's gonna be a lot of, like they said, it's gonna be a lot of orange in that bowl. There's gonna be a lot going on. But the Orange Bowl is always an interesting game, a great atmosphere historically. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing that game as well. One I'm thinking about is interesting is like, South Carolina as a
Mm-hmm.
couple one guy on USPL a boat truck, a couple teams coming down the stretch and ruin some stuff. Playing against Notre Dame and kind of seeing again for the same reasons, you want to end on a good note, even though you might have some folks getting out early. This is one of those games where you're going to see what's the culture. But these are teams that hopefully have a chance to continue to build on some momentum that they kind of had a little bit late in the season or this year, trying to build on something on Notre Dame's side. Setting the first time for the program, trying to move in a different direction. Building a recruiting class, but that Gator Bowl is something that I'm interested in looking at. Hammer, what are you looking at?
Definitely Alabama, Kansas State, because it's going to have the top two projected picks in the draft. Even though we've talked about this, I'm just really angry at Nick Saban for not talking to the young men and again letting them understand that they're putting millions of dollars on the line to be their homies. Yeah, but this is business now. This is the game. This is business, and so especially I think I was listening to Thai radio on the way to the funeral from ATL, and just the fanaticism on Alabama on Thai radio really bothers me. I mean, they tried every which way to justify Will Anderson's and Bryce Young's playing, and it was nonsensical. It really was the fanaticism of the Alabama fan base talking. It was not talking in the interest of these young men. It was talking in the interest of Alabama football. For what? I mean, they're winning a game that doesn't mean anything to Alabama. Alabama's about national championships. It ain't about no damn sugar ball. So the bottom line is that why the heck are they all jacked up about we want to see Will or we want to see Bryce one more time? No. Will and Bryce need to be in LA right now training and getting ready for that draft and getting those deals and getting that money. They've done all they need to do at Alabama and Roll Tide, and they paid their dues. So again, the brainwash mentality and trying to make these young men think they're gonna. Yeah, he's shaking his head. You wrong, brother. You dead wrong. And so and dead wrong. Period.
It's the culture,
It's
man.
the
Yeah,
culture of
it's
football.
bad culture.
You
It's
can't.
why it's why he
Some
went.
things people that don't never play football.
No, it's not about not play. It's a business. Don't give me
No,
that because
no,
Jackson
but
Smith,
it's something about finishing
Jackson
with
Smith
starting.
didn't play this
It's
year.
part of
Don't
the
give me
culture.
that. Larry Fitzgerald came out after 2 years, used a technicality because he enrolled his class to leave early. So give me that crap about a culture. Again, yeah, there is culture. It's a negative culture because it's a brainwashing culture. And again, I see why Bama. You know, again, Saban's got a great class. Saban probably be preseason number one, I presume. And
But
so,
how do you know? Hold it, Hammer. How do you know he didn't talk to him about not playing there? Like, no, coach, we playing. Like, how do you know he didn't say that?
Because he's so powerful that he can convince these young men not to.
He not trying. I don't see.
Yeah, I know for a fact
Saban's a
it
lot
said
of
he
things.
told Tua to go pro. So don't give me that.
Saban's a lot of things, but I don't
No,
think
he didn't tell Tua to play. Tua was hurt, so he didn't play.
I said to go pro. Listen to me. Go pro. Listen. I said go pro. I didn't say to play. I said go pro.
Yeah, but I'm saying that, and I understand your thing with that, but certain guys, and they still do it at the league. Like the stats don't prove you that way. Like, you know, the stats don't prove anything.
Why take the chance, DWIlS? Why take the
I
chance?
understand,
Why take the
but
chance?
some people,
Why take the
some guys are
chance?
built like that. Will Anderson just built like that. He's just that's who he is. And if that's
Defies
who he
common
is,
sense.
he understands the
You
risk.
And I
gotta
got to push back
evolve.
on
You
the
gotta
idea of
evolve.
meaningless bowl games. This is the thing that's ruining the sport in the first place.
Yeah.
This is
It's not ruining. College football is better than it's ever been. What are you talking about ruining the sport? College football is better than it's ever been. What are you
But when we
talking
talk about
about?
meaningless ball games, that's the problem. We got to quit.
No, it ain't no meaningless ball. You got new cat. Look at with Ohio State. Ohio State, Notre Dame last. Look what happened. You had Jackson Smith Benninga came out and basically put tape on. He didn't have to play this year. And you have Marvin Harrison broke out and showed how he should have been able to lift the cup winner.
That's cool if you talk about the NFL. You know, look, I'm all about.
You're gonna see Clemson's receiver. Talk about Clemson. You see Clemson's receiver. They got a bunch of freshmen. They're gonna ball out.
Who want to finish what they started?
What again? Alabama's about. I listening to the radio down here because it's sports. I mean, down here, down south, you know, it's the, as I call it, the college football capital of the world. And let's break it down. Ohio State's about beating Michigan in championships. It ain't about no Sugar Bowl. Come on now.
But see that's the problem.
No
all you doing is
and the same Alabama, and you know Alabama stands are higher. So
hold it. All you doing is reinforcing exactly what Darnell just said. That's why the sports are rolling. Because we putting it on the money.
Money's part of it, bro.
It's part, but the thing about it, some of these kids are like, and I'm not knocking it. If they're talking to me, I would say, hey, go get your money. But I'm not mad at you if you want to play because there's a lot of kids who played over the years and were fine. They were fine.
They weren't. Jalen Smith wasn't fine. Jake Butt wasn't fine.
Than not. There's a lot who
wasn't fine. Willis McGahee blew out a knee. He wasn't fine.
That's
so
like one out of what? One out of 100,000.
David Ajabo tore his Achilles doing drills.
I know, I'd rather be doing drills than doing
5-10-5 drill. You can get hurt doing anything. John Wall.
I agree, but you get hurt the right. I'd rather be hurt in the combine than be hurt in a meaningless game.
But hurt is hurt.
Meaningless.
The whole thing is about getting hurt.
Oh my goodness.
Man, no.
I'm saying that the statistics don't support it. Now,
you talk about statistics.
It doesn't support
the bottom line is that you don't want to be that one that aberration like Jalen Smith, like Jake Butt, like Willis McGahee. I don't want you. You talking about millions? You talking about generational wealth?
What about the other 1,000 of players? What about the other 25 first rounders who might have played?
Well, again, I wouldn't risk it, man. I'm sorry.
But I'm saying they built like that, so I'm not gonna get mad at them if they built
like that. They built.
There's a difference between saying that you wouldn't do it than saying that it's sick and disgusting to allow somebody to play.
Yes.
I think it is because it's against the young man standard.
But they making money.
The young man.
That's the NIL.
It ain't enough.
Those guys are making money.
Dude, assurance policy NIL is gonna make up for the first second round pick. That is going to be.
How much did our star quarterback make this year?
Who now? The first you talking about what's his name? What's his name? Not Trevor. The first pick of the draft. I forget right now.
How much did Will Anderson make this year on NIL?
Oh, maybe I'm sure $5 million on the table and probably under the table some other stuff. But again, it ain't worth the NFL, man.
Money before they weren't even making money.
Dude, we talking about six figures compared 7 figures compared
I understand
to 10
that,
figures.
but he ain't playing with. He ain't playing with no money in his pocket.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that why risk exponential?
Because some dogs are built like that, Hammer.
Well, again,
some are built like that.
You need to be a businessman. You need to be a businessman.
But some are built like that.
Yeah, and if he blows his knee out, he's gonna be built like that.
Yeah, but he, like you said,
he's
he
gonna
could
be built like that
on a workout.
Man. Again, you're talking about the football game. You're talking about workout. You're talking about cats who actually gonna try to undercut him.
If they decide to play or not play, but I'm not gonna knock them if they decide to play.
I knock them. I think again, the family's wrong.
You took
they get bad decisions. We as black men anyway, marginalized. To marginalize your own self. That makes no sense. To marginalize your own self.
Oh, we gonna agree
to reduce your income stream. It's stupid, man.
One of the important things
flushing money down. Basically, they go if they get hurt, they basically flushing down $10 million down the damn toilet. That's basically what they do.
Yeah, it could happen. It could happen walk across the street.
Yeah. Again, it's more likely. Come on, it's more likely to be in a football.
But they got more insurance now than they ever had because they all
insurance ain't covering the type of money you got, man.
They literally got money.
I know they got money, but they get more money. They need more money.
Well, I understand that, but they got enough to survive. If you
want to thrive, we want to survive.
Your education didn't help you.
Like one of my favorite people. One of my favorite people said,
"Would you be able to survive with $1 million?"
Yeah. And
then what are we talking about?
Interest.
Yes. What we talking about? So
we talking about the fact that they can have 10, 12 million.
And they get more than that.
It's simple, Don. It's simple.
It's not simple.
It is simple.
All right.
You have been given a gift, and you risk that gift. That's simple.
You done brought it into simple.
It's simple.
All right.
You
Rose Bowl. What about
Saban? So 17-year-olds don't care about you all.
Let's make it about Saban. Some of the other players left. Some of them jumped in the portal.
I agree.
So Saban ain't got that big of a mind control over
their business people. They realized Alabama wasn't for them. It's time to move on.
To the league. Yeah.
And some of the cats that were getting paid less than their backups. Yeah, you need to leave.
Cats are doing what they need to do. But let's go to
what they need to do.
Hold on. Let's go to Rose Bowl. Point made. Rose Bowl is an interesting one. With Utah, Utah like the bully on the block. I love them. They just be they to me like the Dragos of college football. You know, if he dies, they come at you hard on it. And then you got Penn State. And Penn State got some work to do, man. In my mind, a little disappointing season.
11 in the country disappointing. Come on.
They got a high recruiting class. The coach got to come under some scrutiny now. He ain't winning no Big Ten championships.
He was on the watch list, but he was on the watch list.
He ain't winning no Big Ten championships.
That's true, and that's the standard. That's the standard. That's the standard of Penn State. You're right.
Ain't that the standard?
It is the standard of Penn State. Yeah, I mean he was on the hot list. No question. If he had finished,
Utah beat you down if you don't come.
Yeah, I think Franklin will have him come. I think they're gonna come. Plus, they got that super senior at quarterback. He's gonna ball out. So I mean, he played 6 years? He been there.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
He's not good.
He's decent. He's decent. I mean, he's decent. He's not good. He's decent.
Let Darnell come in. You got your mic time. Let Darnell come in. Well, you say it's not good. Come on.
I'm saying he's not good. The 6-year quarterback, man, they might as well play Drew Aller.
They ain't. Drew Aller didn't beat him out, obviously. They didn't beat him out, obviously. Shoot.
I'll tell you right now, if they get roasted in that Rose Bowl, frankly, there's gonna be some whispers.
Yeah, there will be. There were whispers at the beginning of the season. So that's not even. I mean, yeah, but there whispers. If he had finished like the way he would look outside the top 25, he probably would have been fired. No question.
He gonna be some whispers.
There'll be some whispers. Yeah, there'll be whispers when Ryan Day gets blown out. There'll be whispers when Ryan Day gets blown out. Yeah. There'll be a lot of whispers.
Right. We'll get to that. Because I want to save some time. We'll get to that. So we got some games out here we all gonna be watching.
Texas and Washington's another one.
Yeah, that's gonna be a good one with Panic Jr. I'm stunned.
Yep.
He's coming back. I'm really stunned about that.
Yep.
I think he's a first rounder. I think he's
first rounder.
I think he could be a first rounder. Not right now. He's probably a second rounder right now. I'm talking about he's the type of cat that go through the draft. Let me finish. He's the type of cat that go through the draft process, and he could soar in the draft process.
You got him as a first rounder?
I'm saying he could be a first rounder. I didn't say he was. If he were first rounder, he'd be out. He clearly got a second round grade from that advisory committee. No question.
No, if he had a second round grade, he would be gone.
No, he ain't coming out with.
I think he got like a third or fourth round grade. No, I think he's gonna be really good. I think people are not really. I had a chance to watch it. I think he's gonna be really good. I think he demonstrated some highlights this year. I think he should come back.
I see a draft thing said mid first. He didn't
get into the Heisman conversation. I think he got the skills to do that, and really try to make something happen. This year, but
he made something happen this year. What are you talking about? He had a great year this year.
Yeah, but it's not enough to be a first round grade. And I think if you talk about quarterback,
I see a middle. I see a scouting service middle.
I see people looking at him as a college quarterback.
Nah, I think
that's not necessarily a pro quarterback. I think he could be good, but
I think he'd be really good. I mean, I saw about Indiana, I wasn't impressed, but that's why I was stunned. He went to Washington.
I was impressed with him at game when he was at Indiana. You could see.
He got hurt. You were impressed with him coming off a stretcher?
No, but I saw him play before, and I thought
I didn't see him play before. That's the first time I saw him. Yeah,
I thought at Indiana he looked decent. You could see the makings of it. This year, I think it all came together. I think getting another year and getting your team pushing, they ended up. If he could push. With him leading it, he could lead his team into the top 10. Probably make a push out there.
Man.
You got to.
I've seen mid-round. I've seen mid-first round grades on him. He needed to go, man.
You've seen mid
first round grade from who?
From who?
Draft Buzz.
Bob Draft Buzz.
Yes. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking right now. Pro Football Network.
It wasn't
Kuiper had him too. Kuiper had him high. Yeah, I think Kuiper was surprised. Yeah. I mean, I
don't know, man.
Well, again,
I don't feel that. I think it's going to be a great game because they need the arrow to continue to go up in both these programs. So this is an arrow.
I hope he didn't get hurt. That's all. I hope he didn't get hurt. That's all.
They see
do 6'3", 215. I mean, he looks like an NFL quarterback. I mean, up his way. If what's his name, Tanner McKee, they talking about him being a first round pick.
Who said Tanner McKee is a first round pick?
There are people who.
Who are we talking about? Are we talking about?
I read several things about Tanner McKee in the draft process. You can't teach 6'6", bro.
No,
you can't teach 6'6". He's got right now. He's
going.
Right now, he's a second round pick. You can't tell me he has a good draft. I'm looking at a lot of services.
Who is saying that Tanner McKee is a second round
I've read several articles. I read about my Stanford brothers. I read several articles talking about if he shows out because they said D-Shaw held him back. That's one reason why D-Shaw got fired. They held him back. So this dude could be special. 6'6". You can't teach 6'6", bro.
You
can laugh all you want to. You can't teach 6'6", man.
What does that mean?
Yes.
What does that mean?
He's a prototypical pocket passer. That's what it means. He's huge. I mean, he's got a cannon of an arm. He's huge. He wasn't highlighted.
Look, man, I'm gonna make you have lead with some citations because who up here talking about some of these cats who might be mid-round.
He ain't no mid-round. That dude is a second round pick right now.
See, those
dudes second round pick right. He went to the advisory board. He's Stanford, man. He ain't stupid. He went to advisory. Yeah.
This is NFL. This is NFL draft catfish.
No.
Y'all,
I see right now one has him 81 overall. Again, he's the type of cat that in the draft process he can soar. You know that he can soar.
He's a day 3 pick, late day.
No, he ain't no day 3. He's a minimum day 2 pick. Minimum day 2 pick.
We'll see. Oh,
yeah, we will see.
We got the we.
You can laugh all you want to. Dude ain't coming
Woo.
out. Dude ain't coming out. He's there. He ain't coming out. He ain't boo boo the fool.
All right, we got the college football playoffs. We got national semifinals. We got so let's talk about the first game on the docket. It's Michigan versus TCU. They're gonna be in the Fiesta Bowl. Already out there in AZ, stuff is bubbling. Things are up. They've had time to look at all the film they can look at. They're coming in, get ready. Let's talk about the keys to victory. Darnell, give me some keys on both teams. What you think to victory for both these teams?
The key to victory for TCU is obvious. It's the same thing that everybody's been talking about against Michigan for the last 5 weeks, or since the beginning of the season. They got to stop the run, and they got to stop the run, and they got to force JJ to beat them. But I don't think they have what it takes to do that, especially with that 3-3-5 that they run. I think they're gonna get. I think they're gonna get beat to death. I think it's gonna be. I think it's gonna be a 35-10 type of game, in my opinion. I think it's a 35-10 game. Michigan's gonna. They're gonna ball control this game. They run the ball down TCU throat, and Michigan's key to victory is just beat Michigan. I mean, they don't have to do anything outside of themselves to win this game. Just do what you've done all year, and follow your own DNA. So that's
All
it.
right. So you got that's those are the keys, and you got Michigan winning that one. Hammer your keys.
Keys, they got pressure JJ McCarthy, make him and I don't think he'll be able to do that. I think also, they got to spread the ball with Dugan. I don't think I'll do that. I mean, Michigan's great defense with Jesse Miller is one of the top up and coming D coordinators in the country. Probably a head coach like his dad eventually. So, I just don't see. I agree with Darnell. It's a shame. It's political. Like I said, they're not the top 4 team in the country. Alabama should be in this. Nobody wants to see TCU, but the people in Waco and nobody wants to see TCU. We wanted to see Alabama. That's what we wanted to see. And that's why I look forward to the 12-game playoff, because I'm tired of this mess with someone like TCU in the top 4. And they're not, again, it's political and they have to do it, but man, we know that if Bryce Young, they would beat them like they stole something. And we know that. Beat them like they stole something. I want to see Bama in there. Nobody wants to see TCU.
I don't know
And
if I'm
Sonny
going to see
Dice up
that.
there talking that
I'm going to
junk.
say this:
They're gonna get
TCU's
whooped like they
strength of
stole
record.
something. I hope they get whooped. I'm gonna
One
be
of the stronger records in
clapping.
the country.
And again, I'm not really a Michigan fan, but this is one game I'm gonna be cheering for them because I'm tired of this mess. These Big 12 teams ain't worth nothing, and they went to the SEC, they would get clobbered. If TCU came to SEC, they would get crushed. They
So
would
we
be
know
crushed. And the bottom line is that they took advantage the lowest of the Power Fives, and they're in the playoff.
So
It's
what did Luke
ridiculous.
Fickle? What did your boy Luke Fickle do at Cincinnati?
He won. That's what he did. He won last night. He won. That's what he did.
Did he beat teams that were better
No,
than
that's why he got whooped too.
all them
That's why he
in
left
the Big
Cincinnati
12?
too. That's why he left Cincinnati too. He knew that he needed to take the next step in Wisconsin, and we're gonna do it in Wisconsin with Mabry, and we got some real good recruits coming in.
So we got. Oh,
And
let's stay on track. So you obviously you got Michigan. I
yeah,
agree with
all
y'all.
day.
I think one of the things that I would say about Michigan, and it's important not only for this game, but to build momentum towards a championship game, is they got to finish drives with touchdowns. They have too many times where they are, they're scoring from sometimes way out, but in that red zone, they got to finish drives, and that's important. Their defense has got to be their defense, and they can't underestimate TCU like Hammer is. I mean, these kids got heart; they ain't gonna mess around. So they got to know if they come in with the Hammer attitude, they in trouble. Uh,
No,
don't
they're gonna
disrespect.
whoop them. I don't have
Don't disrespect
they're gonna
TCU
whoop them.
because you'll find yourself
Harbaugh's
on the L
Harbaugh's
side.
gonna whoop them. Harbaugh's gonna
So,
whoop them.
so my thing is, hopefully they come in respecting them for who they are. But they got to finish drives, and they got to make it one dimensional. Don't let them get in their bag and they mix. Which your boy Deuce. Don't let Deuce get loose. He be hiding behind the line,
He
and so
said
yeah,
Deuce.
is that who's that running back? I mean, I've got it wrong. Who's the running back?
Johnson is the running back.
Johnson, yeah.
Deuce Vaughn played for Kansas State.
Kansas State, yeah.
Kansas State.
I got
Kansas State.
My man DWIlS doesn't know the players in the team. They so
who got loose. Get loose.
Yeah,
they gonna get loose. All right, they're gonna get beaten. They'll get loose so badly. They're gonna be loose. Their limbs gonna be loose. They get beat down so many times.
I ain't really looking at the film because I ain't for me looking at the film. But I'm gonna tell you this: don't disrespect them like Hammer.
I disrespect them. I know disrespect. I said disrespect them on the field and knock them out.
They don't come with the Hammer attitude.
Knock them out. They got Hammer attitude. They gonna come with destroying them because they got crushed. Like they don't come with. They gonna beat them like they need to beat them like they don't deserve to be there. They're gonna do that. Coach Harbaugh gonna do that because this could be his last hurrah. If he wins a chip, he going to the Colts. Watch.
He wants. He keep trying to get him out of Ann Arbor. He ain't going nowhere.
Well, because you that close to Lombardi. You that close to Lombardi, dude. You that close to. If you win a CFP, you that close to Lombardi. You gotta go to the NFL, man. You were in the Super Bowl against your brother-in-laws. Okay, your brother.
We'll see. So now then we got the Peach Bowl. We got Georgia and Ohio State. All right, I'll start with you, Hammer.
They're gonna beat them like they stole something. I mean, we in the ATL. This is dog city. Woo, 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 woo. This is dog city right now, man. I mean, the fact is they can't leave their hotel room. I mean, this is dog city right now. This is the city of dogs. This is, man, they're gonna beat them. Jalen Carr is going to be a monster. He's going to destroy. Mayan Williams is the only back that's going to play right. Yeah, they got one healthy back. He's going to beat him like he stole something, man. I look forward to it. And Ryan Day will be on the hot list, hot seat immediately. And Mike Vrabel will be looked at as the next coach of the Buckeyes, man. Because the thing about it is, Ohio State ain't about getting to the CFP. They're talking about beating Michigan and winning chips. And the crazy thing about it is with the Big Ten, you realize like the only team who's a modern Big Ten who's won a national championship outright, not Michigan, they won a chair, was Ohio State. That's the only team. It's unbelievable. I mean, so again, people at Ohio State want, again, excellence. And getting your brakes beaten off of you 2 years in a row by Michigan ain't Ohio State. Ryan Day is not equipped to be the coach of Ohio State. He's not equipped to be a leader of men. He's not equipped to be, he might be a Cincinnati or Kent State, but he is not.
Oh my goodness. All right. You made your point. All right. Darnell, we bring Darnell into it. Darnell, okay, you got this.
That was blatant disrespect.
Well, I understand. You can be like that. You deserve
it. Your point, babe. Let me get Darnell in there.
3 times he's only been the coach for 4 years. He's been the college football playoff 3 times
and lost. I don't lost. So what? And lost.
You talk about Wisconsin and lost, and they ain't never been to a BCS
because we need the coach. We got the coach now. Who I met, you put on the screen, man. I met my man Luke Fickell. I got my picture now, and like I said, when they win that chip, that picture's gonna be worth gold. I'm gonna be able to sell that picture for some money.
All right.
Some money.
All right. Darnell, let me hear your perspective on this game.
The thing about this game, it's weird, right? Because if you ask somebody, what is the team, what does it take to beat a team? What does it take to beat Ohio State? And you would describe Georgia, right? You're a physical, smash mouth team, a lot of athleticism on defense. They got talented players everywhere. A lot of 5 stars, a lot of high 4 stars, right? But if you ask Georgia, if you ask people, what does it take to beat Georgia? You would name a team that's pretty similar to Ohio State, a team with a quarterback with great accuracy and has a great deep ball. You got a all-world receiver, a couple more good weapons to go with them, solid O-line. I mean, but I think my prediction for this game, I believe Georgia. I believe Georgia's going to take it. They're in their hometown, and it doesn't matter if they're in their hometown. They could play them in China. They could play them in Italy. They could play them in Ukraine.
Here, man. It matters.
They could play them in Ukraine. I think Georgia got it because they have that physicality that you probably the best player in the country, in Jalen Carter. You know,
Thank you.
he's gonna wreak havoc like he always does.
Oh,
But this is going to be a game that I think is a little closer than a lot of people are saying. And I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yeah, I think it's going to be
still
closer than
lose,
people
still
think.
lose. No
I
matter.
think it's going to be closer than
Close is
people
good in
think.
horseshoes.
I was up
Who
until a couple
cares?
days
They're
ago. I was
close.
about to call an upset. I was about to call it because it
You need
just
to be drug
feels like
tested, man. You need
Ohio
to be
State
drug
backed
tested.
into
You
this.
gotta be kidding me.
We got people like Hammer out there. It just feels like there needs to be disruption. And only just for Hammer's sake. I think there just needs to be disruption. Like the worst scenario would be Ohio State against TCU and Ohio State winning. Like that would send Hammer into like a zone of text messages. Like I had turned my phone off. And for some reason, I almost want to hope for that. I shouldn't.
No,
I
if that
shouldn't.
happens, man, then there's not gonna be a flood of text messages. I got friends at DOJ. We need to call DOJ and get a federal investigation because something's wrong. Something's wrong.
I just and like you
And something's up.
Ohio State got that kryptonite. And
For themselves, yeah.
they got that kryptonite.
For
Like you
themselves,
said, they got something to prove. They feel highly disrespected, and this is their opportunity to make their season.
And this is when Ohio State is at their best. Like Ohio
best.
State, you see Ohio State this year. You see Ohio State with the Justin Fields year when everybody said, "Oh, they can't beat Clemson." Clemson beat them. They played Clemson 5 times in their history, and they lost every single time, going back to the Woody Hayes days. What did they do? They came in there and they handled business. 2014, they don't deserve to be on the same field with Alabama. They lost to Virginia Tech. Why they in there? 2002. Oh yeah, they can't. They got Miami. You know, Miami just coming off of having the best team to ever walk the earth in college football. But what happened?
You talking about the past, bro? We talking about now.
I'm talking
about the past. We talking about right now, bro. That's what we talking about. We talking about right now. And this Ohio State team is going to get crushed. They're going to come in here to ATL and they're going to stomp on Jalen Carter, have a coming out party, and cats going to be on stretchers carried out. I've been in Benz Stadium. I've been in Mercedes-Benz Stadium. They better have a lot of stretchers available that time because my man's going.
All right, so I'm gonna make my prediction. I'm gonna do this because I want to do it. I think Ohio State gonna win. I'm gonna put it out there. Upset. Month to prepare. Lot built up. Upset. I don't know how it's gonna happen. It's gonna happen.
Again,
so
we're all Christ believers here. The only way it's gonna happen, the Lord's gonna want that. That's the only way it's gonna happen.
I got Ohio
Our
State.
Lord and Savior don't want that, but under it's divine intervention. But under normal circumstances, it ain't gonna happen.
The chat group is not gonna be the same if that comes true. It's gonna be.
Yeah, because I'm gonna call my friend the DOJ and be like, y'all need to investigate this because something's wrong.
Hammer might turn his phone off.
No, I don't turn my phone off.
Right.
I don't turn my phone off. Never.
He might turn his phone off. He's like, this cat clowning.
Yeah.
He clowning. I'm going there. Okay, so both you got Michigan against Georgia. Who you got? Who you got, Darnell?
I got Georgia.
Yeah.
I think they're gonna do it again. I think Georgia has. I think they have a unique blend of talented skill players. Darnell Washington, who I think the Lions should pick with their second first round pick. They got Darnell Washington. They got Brock Bowers. Lad McConkey is a nice little slot receiver. Kenny McIntosh, and then they have a really physical offensive line that can match Michigan's intensity. On top of that, and then they got a baller at quarterback. He's not going to be the NFL. You know, he doesn't have the measurables that Carl loves. And
he's gritty though. He's gritty though. I like him.
When the game time, he's gonna show up when it matters most. So I think Georgia's gonna take it.
In my scenario,
Darnell said everything I said. Go ahead. Sorry.
In my scenario, I got Michigan winning. in my
Of
city.
course, because you're a homer. Yeah, that's another
I'll go
story.
with that. And maybe Harbaugh rides off to into
Yeah,
Indianapolis to
if
do
he
that.
wins that game, he's going to the pros. Trust me.
He rides off. I think more likely I'm probably going to be with y'all, probably with Georgia winning. But I just throwing this out there just because I feel like I want to shake it up a little bit. But it's going to be a great. I think they're going to be. We're going to see 3 great games. I think we're going to see some great semifinal games, and I think we'll see a great championship game from these groups.
We're
So
going
it's
to
going
see
to be fun.
blowouts. I think we're going to see
And
blowouts, all three.
and if we and listeners, the text message box. We have some clowning moments up in them boxes.
We
Where
do.
cats are going back and
Great.
forth. Boy, there's gonna be some clowning in this one. We
Yeah,
can't take that behind the
by
scenes.
you after
Maybe
Michigan
one
gets
day
the
we
brakes
will.
beaten off them, you can turn off your phone. After Michigan gets the brakes beat off, you turn your phone.
Oh, you know me. I talk junk even when I'm down. You know where I come from.
Change it to a 608 number. That's
You
what you
know
need
where
to
I
do. Change
come
to a
from.
J phone number.
I
To a
I
Rockford number. That's what you need to do.
I knock people out going backwards. You know,
Yeah,
I talk junk even when I'm down. That's how good I am.
that's the
It
best
don't
time to
matter.
talk. That's the best time to talk it. Come back.
You know, with my back against the wall down, I still talk
Come
junk. You
back.
know,
Come back.
hello.
Come back.
They nothing with that. That's how good I am. That's
No.
why I can come
Yeah.
out like this because I know I
Me
can talk
too. Me
effectively,
too.
even with my back against the wall.
Me
So
too, man.
we'll see this. All right, we're gonna get down to the best sports moments of 2022. Our top 5, which is difficult. There were so many incredible moments from a number of different perspectives in 2022. You know, things might change, orders might change. Hammer, we'll go with you with your top 5, and then we'll go to Darnell, and I'll finish out.
Okay. Number 5, Super Bowl halftime show. Transcended culture.
Oh yeah, that's a great.
Tremendous.
Yeah. I missed that.
I mean, it was a sporting event in itself. The kneeling by Eminem, the cultural aspect of it. 50 Cent with the surprise cameo appearance. It was tremendous. It was really showed. It was the first time really that my generation was able to showcase our music to the world and show how hip hop has influenced everything. And so it was great in the fact it was in Inglewood, it was in the hood in LA, and Dr. Dre leading it. It was apropos, and that was number 5.
Oh, that's a
Number
great one,
4,
Hammer. That's a great one, dog. I'll give you that. That's a great one right there. I'm so bad. I feel bad about my top 5 after you hear yours right there. That's a great one, brother.
you got me on the show for a reason, brother. You got me on the
I
show for a
love it,
reason.
man.
Number 4, Aaron Judge, the real home run hero. It was tremendous to see that the home run record now has legitimacy from a guy who's not juiced up, a guy whose head has not become bigger over the years, another guy who involved in scandals and Balco and all this mess, a true home run champ, and a brother. Let's just be real, and a brother in a sport that is suffering right now as far as the lack of African Americans. And so he's a hero. It's great he signed back with the Yankees and will be the our version of Derek Jeter, forward, but a 6'7", 280 Derek Jeter. Tremendous. I'm very happy for the sport of baseball that now that home run has legitimacy. Number 3, definitely number 3. Oh, excuse me, my bad. Yeah, number 3. Yeah, actually, this is better. Number 3 is Justin Jefferson's catch. That's one of the best catches ever against the Bills. Tremendous catch. Just the concentration just shows why he's the best in the game. Shows why, again, somebody number 10 was drafted. He ain't that good. But number 22 is balling. You know what I'm talking about. I'm not mention his name. My most overrated wide receiver out there. And you know what I'm talking about. DS. Enough said. I
All
don't
he
even
does
say
is
his
make
name.
catches. You talking about God? All he does is make catches.
No. He didn't make
That's the guy
it.
you talking about.
He's good.
All
He's
he
not
does.
great. He's good. He's not great.
You mean the
He's good. He's
professional
not great.
pass catcher? You mean all he does is make catches?
No,
You talking about that guy?
All he
All
does is
catch the
they
ball?
had to go get AJ Brown to that's
Because
how
when you
great he
try to
was
build
to
a
go get
championship
AJ
team,
Brown,
you want to make sure
the
you got
real
balance.
MVP.
You want to have balance. That's smart. It's smart. It's why the
No,
Rams ain't got
they never
OBJ.
one number one
It's why the
receiver, and so
Rams ain't
Howie
got
Roseman
OBJ.
realized that,
You
and John
put the
Robinson got
balance. Don't
fired.
use that
John
against him.
Robinson got fired
All he does is make
for
catches.
trading him away.
All he does is make catches. That's all I know.
Nah, all he does is get hurt.
Ask
That's
me
all
who
I
got
know.
to guard him.
Yeah, no, no,
Go,
no,
go
no.
ahead. I don't want to disrupt your
Number
list.
two,
Go
number
ahead.
two, you'll like this one.
Yeah, too.
Serena's last stand. Serena's last game. Tremendous. Made for TV. She lost, but just the grit and just showed that Serena. She went out with an L, but it was a wonderful L. It was one of the few times where, again, an L is a wonderful thing because she left it all on the court. And then number one, definitely Messi World Cup, no doubt about it. The showcase for the ages and tremendous for Lionel Messi to finally put a bow on his career to be considered the best soccer player in the history of the sport.
That's a good list, man. That's a good list. That's a really good list. Thank you for sharing. Darnell, your list.
All right, number 5, Kamaru Usman versus Leon Edwards. The shot was heard around the world. This was a fight that Usman was winning pretty handily, and Leon Edwards was able to beat the buzzer and got Kamaru Usman out as pretty much the fight was going to be over. Number 4, I had Devin Haney becoming undisputed at 135, going over to Australia. That whole moment. Um, Number 3, I had Dimitri Bivol um, defeating pound for pound number 1, Canelo Alvarez. Number 2, I had Georgia winning the national championship. Georgia winning the national championship. Kirby finally beating his demons and beating Nick Saban. And number 1, I had Steph Curry's playoff run and especially the finals, winning his 4th championship. Um, that's my list.
All
Oh,
right,
nice.
there you go. That you can see that. You can see what I love about these lists is that you can see what influences people. You know, Darnell is like really into combat sports boxing, and the element of it. So I love the list because of ownership. You can tell like people's personalities showing through these lists. So y'all done a really good job. You're making me sitting there back here thinking about what my list gonna do. I call this the nightmare for the Nigerians. Number 5. I had to put them together. Usman and Asanya, both losing shots around the world in the final round when they both were winning. Like, these are both shocks. These are not things that we thought would ever happen. We thought that these two would rule forever. And to watch both of them go down, I almost had to put it together because at one point you had 3 Nigerians holding belts in the UFC, and now we're down to 1. And so that one, it was just, those moments had me yelling in my living room. Like you said, like the Usman one, I thought I was gonna lose my breath, but I was like, I couldn't believe I had to rewind it to make sure I knew what I was watching before they played the replay. So I call it the Nigerian nightmare because it happened collectively. I mean, we still trying to figure out what's happening with the UFC after those losses, and then the Steph run. Steph was like, number 4, put some respect on my name. Steph was like, put some respect on my name. Was happy for him at the end, but that was just an incredible run, incredible moment. He put the whole city of Boston to sleep. It was bye bye Betty time. Steph in that run, and then Coach K calling it quits. I mean, you talking about somebody who's impacted generations of folks. The work that he did for the national team, just that run. Knowing that he was closing the door on you can't really write the history of sports these days in America without talking about Coach K, and that was a major moment as well. Uh, uh, the judge, breaking the record, and part of it was not only him breaking the record and all the things that have been shared here, but he took a chance on himself. Well, he got 360 million. Like, not only and he shut the door. Yeah, they didn't get the world, but to carry that burden, to be there, to do what he did, was incredible. And then for me, number 1, because it was the story throughout most of 2022, and really gained momentum and tapped into every aspect of sports in terms of response and support, was Brittany Griner and the freeing of Brittany Griner, and Brittany as the story. It had so many layers to it. and connected to so many different things that were going on, including folks like what was happening in Ukraine and with Loma and all the other folks, but all this context in Brittany sitting in the middle of this, and the response throughout the sports world, political spaces, other entertainment, and then seeing Brittany coming home right before the holidays, and it tells you, it talks about the impact of sports globally and the way in which sports has situated itself, including the energy it had on things like the World Cup and everything else. As you had someone who is very visible as Brittany being detained, but then coming home. There were many more opportunities, and I think if we had honorable mentions, one of the things that we probably even talk about, which is just I looked at this, is Erin Jackson, who was 500-meter speed skater who won the gold, first black woman to win gold in speed skating. Like, think about that. Like, that's not on the list. It might not hit on anybody's list, but you know, the nature of that sport, who's in that sport, and then get to the level where you can actually be a gold medalist. So I mean, there are so many other great moments. I think Serena moment y'all pointed out. 2022 had a lot going on, y'all, and 2023 we
Messi
hope
finally
brings.
winning. Yeah.
We say
Instead of Messi finally winning the World Cup.
Yeah.
Messi finally winning. I thought that was a great one on the list.
In a way, I mean, in the World Cup final itself was phenomenal. Mbappe, and I mean, it
Yep.
was tremendous, man.
Yeah,
And
and
Mbappe,
all the cultural, the text, the following conversations, following the World Cup and the conversation. So there are a lot of this is why all of us do
one,
this, huh?
one, what do you call it, golden.
Uh, uh, am I losing you? Is that me or is that Hammer?
That's him. That's him.
Yeah, I think we losing you a little bit, but we're looking for 2023 to be even better. And that's why the three of us love doing this. We'll bring more folks from our crew. We like the Wu Tang. We're not the only folks in the collective here, and so hopefully in 2023 we'll bring more voices to it. We have a lot of contributors. Also look out. Sekou is going to be doing his hip hop year in review. We'll be posting that on Real Sports Guys here pretty soon. You'll probably see that in the early part of 2023. And it's always a fun thing. And probably Marcus and Sekou will do a show. They normally do a show talking about those top albums of 2022 and also in a sports context. So look out for that. Please check us out on Real Sports Guys on all social media platforms as well. You can catch these guys on Twitter, on Instagram. They're all there, so check them out and hang out with them. And we'll see you all in 2023, y'all. Until next year, we're out.